Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
It's good to have you back again.
In case you're new here, I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Aaron.
And this is Avery Street Design Studio.
Yep.
In case you hear clicking, little noises in the background, our dog Rupert won't sit still and won't be good today.
He knows exactly what we're doing and when we're doing it.
Yes.
Yep.
So this week we did 4 projects. They're all really awesome. I had been excited to get these projects for my own home. I really wanted these. So I'm really excited to share these with you guys.
Yeah. We did all pallet wood projects again. We did a noodle board for the top of your stove. We did a little over the sink shelf, single shelf. We did a set of lanterns, 3 set of lanterns, and a very cool mahogany wall clock in the shape of a guitar. I'm a musician, so that one kind of, is exciting for me. Yeah.
So in case you guys see my shirt, it says I'm with the drummer.
I'm the drummer.
He's the drummer. A dear friend got this shirt for me. Shout out Jody.
Yeah,
hey Mike and Jody.
Yeah.
We love you guys. So that's why I'm wearing that today.
Right.
So
these are very cool projects. Had a lot of fun doing them. They will most likely sell should you decide to make them and sell them. We're happy to show you how that's done, and
I think they turned out awesome.
They
so
did.
Stick around to the end to see the finished product.
Right. So let's get started.
All right. So our first project, we're going to be doing a guitar clock. It's the base of the guitar, and we're going to make it out of mahogany. We had some mahogany pallets laying around that were just really good wood, so we've been sitting on those, saving them for something special.
Yeah.
And I think this is the perfect item.
We happen to make clocks every single day, so we figured we'd try one we don't usually do. Really nice looking wood, really cool concept, so we'll see how it turns out.
So let's get started on that one.
Yep. We're going to start out by cutting all this mahogany wood down to size. When you're using pallet wood, make sure to get all the nails and staples out of it because they will wreck a saw blade quick. Once we get all the wood cut, we're going to run it through the planer and the joiner to get all the trash and all the bad wood removed from all sides of the boards. If you're new to woodworking and you don't have all the tools, especially a joiner or a planer, it's no big deal. You can usually square up all the sides on a table saw real easy. But if you plan on using reclaimed wood, I would recommend you invest in these tools because they can be a lifesaver. They can take really old nasty wood and turn it into brand new nice looking stuff. And once we get all the sides planed and jointed and all the wood squared up, we're going to come over here and we're going to glue up the guitar. You'll notice I'm doing all the nail holes against each other. I'm not putting them on the face or the back. They'll be hidden inside the body and you'll never see them.
Okay, so I have printed out a template. I just Googled a guitar template. I found a free printable. I blew it up on my printer and taped it all together, so I've got the size I need. So now I'm just going to trace this paper onto the mahogany wood. This was some mahogany we got from some pallets we found, and we always save that to make something really nice out of it. You can find some really good pallets, really good wood sometimes. We've found oak, mahogany, walnut, all kinds. So just trace out the design. And like someone had mentioned in the comments, and I totally agree with them, if you're going to make a lot of something, get you some thin board and make a template. Cut out that template, and then you can use it to trace on your pattern every time, because it's hard to hold these pieces of paper in one place. So if we were going to make a lot of these, we would make a wooden template. We've done that with a lot of our things. And that's it. Now we'll just cut it out.
Now that she's got the design of the guitar traced out on the wood, I'm going to take it over here to the jigsaw and cut it out. I tried to use my bandsaw, but the mahogany was so dense it wouldn't cut through it very well. Plus, I probably need a new saw blade, so the jigsaw will work just fine. Once we get the guitar cut out, we did a pretty decent sand on it and got it cleaned up as best as we could. Now we're going to make the spot for the mechanism to go in the back of the clock. I start out by drilling a center hole with a smaller drill bit and then coming back with a larger drill bit to make the hole bigger. Then we're going to flip it over and I'm going to route out the spot where the mechanism fits down inside the clock. I have a template that I use on the clocks that we make that's just slightly bigger than the size of the mechanism we use. There's a bearing on the bottom side of the router that glides around the edge of the template. That way you get a perfect shape and you don't have to worry about doing it freehand. Also, especially in really hard wood like this, you want to make several small passes with the router. You try to do too much too quick and it could tear up your wood. So now we've got the hole made for the mechanism, and I'll fill these little screw holes in the back of the clock. Everything's cleaned up, sanded real well, and I'm going to show you how to finish this towards the end of the video with all the other stuff. So the next one we're going to do is a noodle board. I don't know why they're called that. Here is what I'm talking about. They go over your stove. They sit on top of the burners for more or less more counter space, I guess. They're cool. They're very popular, and there's a million ways you can make them.
Well, I know what they're used for. It's for people that have smaller kitchens that don't have enough counter space. Me being one of them.
Yep.
It'll be just great to be able to sit something on top of the stove, so I can, if I'm doing something else, like I make sourdough bread all the time, so I can, sit stuff over there while I'm doing that, which will be a great help. So
now these projects a lot of times are personalized. They have family names or monograms or established dates, anything you want to put on there. These are really an item you might want to consider making because they're very popular and they're super easy to make.
And another thing you can do with them, you can also make them to where they slide over your stove, or you can pull them out and slide them over your sink.
Right.
If you want to have extra space there too. So the ways you can make them are very versatile.
Right.
And those are selling really well on Etsy right now. I see them all the time. So let's get started making that one.
Yep. So the next project we're working on is going to be a wooden noodle board don't know why it's called that. The cover for the stove top out of wood. And we're going to use pallet wood again. And I'm going to glue it up. And we're going to let it dry for a little bit.
So we've taken all the wood and we've run it through the planer and the joiner, and now we're just getting it glued up for the noodle board. So we got everything glued up, we got all the excess glue removed, and now we're going to put some heavy paint cans on it to weigh it down in the center so it doesn't bow.
So now I'm going to take the boards that we glued together and I'm going to cut them down to the size of the burner area of the stove, which is 32 inches wide by 22 inches deep. After we get that measurement cut out, we're going to build a frame around the rectangle. That's the part that's going to fit down over the sides of the burners.
So now we're cutting the pieces for the frame that's going to go around the edges of the noodle board. They're 2.5 inches wide. So now we're going to miter all the edges of the noodle board for the frame. They're going to be cut at a 45-degree miter. Now we're cutting out the sides of for the handles on the sides of the noodle board on the bandsaw.
After we're done cutting the handles out of the side pieces, we're going to take them back over to the top and we're going to attach all the frame to the top of the noodle board.
Once this is done being put together, we're going to sand it really good, and then we'll be finishing it here shortly.
What's going on, y'all?
I'm feeding my sourdough starter. In addition to the work we do and making things and the YouTube channel, I like to bake sourdough bread on the little bit of time I have off of work.
Yeah.
Right now I'm just feeding my starter, adding flour to it, and you have to do that pretty often. And then when it rises, doubles in size, then the starter is ready to bake the bread.
In addition to being master woodworkers, She's also a master sourdough maker, and it's so good, y'all.
For our next item, it's a shelf that sits right above the faucet of the sink. I made one of these out of some pallet wood years ago, and I still use that to this day.
Yeah.
I've seen lately that they're becoming very popular. They also make them to where they can sit above the back of your stove as a spice rack. So we're going to show you guys how to make those. It's super simple.
Yeah, all these projects are pallet wood, this one included. Easy way to cut down on your costs because wood is getting stupid expensive now, so keep that in mind. I know a lot of people are turned off by using pallet wood, but it's free and you can make a lot of money for free with pallet wood.
Yeah, I mean, that's mainly why we use pallet wood, so we can show you that you can start a business with nothing, just a little bit of supplies, and you can get going. Then as you get your business going further, you can move to using new wood.
Right.
And by then you'll have scraps, and you can make a lot of stuff out of scraps. But when you start a business, you don't want to start with a bunch of debt.
Yeah.
If you can start with hardly any money, your business will be a lot more profitable in the long run.
Right.
So that's why we do that, just to give you guys ideas. And I know you guys can do it. We did it, so
yeah,
you can do it too.
Yep. So let's get going on that one.
Yeah.
This next project is going to be very simple. It's a shelf that goes over your sink, and it only consists of 3 pieces of wood. So we're going to make sure all the wood is the same width, and then make a corner piece to brace the uprights, I guess, and then we'll just put it together and finish it. We're going to start out by taking some pallet strips from the top of the pallets and cutting them down to 3.5 inches wide. And then we're going to cut the top board for the shelf at 32 inches long and the upright parts of the shelf at 11 inches tall.
So now we're going to glue and nail the uprights to the shelf.
I cut some little triangle pieces out of a 2x6 to use in the corners of the shelf to keep it sturdy. I feel like if you don't put something in the corners, the shelf will just rock back and forth and it won't be sturdy at all. A big thanks to my son-in-law Ronnie for bringing me back some real Coca-Cola from Mexico. It's my favorite. So our last project is going to be these wooden lanterns. I know you've all seen them. She's been asking for a long time to have some. Another super simple project. Very little cost in the wood and high potential for profit. So we're going to do those.
They're going to look really nice sitting on I have an entryway table. Right now I have some lanterns sitting there with candles in them. I don't burn the candles or anything, just to look pretty. But I would much rather have these wood lanterns. So once we get these built, I'm going to get rid of the other ones and put these in its place. They're going to be super cute. I'm excited.
These can be for inside. They can be for outside. We've seen them both places. Totally up to you, yeah.
You can build them from like small all the way up to really big ones. And you can put those fake LED candles in them. Because I wouldn't recommend burning an actual candle with anything made of wood around it. But they make those, and those are great. So.
Yep. So we'll get started on that now.
Yep.
All right. All right. So now we're going to make these wooden lanterns. I'll put a picture right here. We're also using pallet wood. Pretty nice, new-looking pallet wood. And I've gone ahead and made a straight edge on one edge of each of the boards. And I'm going to cut 3/4 by 3/4 inch strips, and that's what we're going to make the lantern out of.
So we've got 3 different sizes of lanterns we're making. So right now we're just cutting down all the strips for each lantern to size. We're going to start by marking the bottom strip on each of the legs. Do you guys like this overhead shot? I'm literally standing on the table above Aaron, recording, looking down. So once you get all the pieces cut down on these lanterns, they're really pretty easy. It's just all about gluing and nailing them together. Piece of cake. For the base of the lanterns, we're using leftovers from the cedar pickets that we have in the shop. Right now he's going to mark where we'll cut little notches out on each corner so that the piece of cedar will just fit down into the lantern. So we'll just get these finished up, then we're going to give them a quick sand, and then we're going to get to staining and finishing all the products we've made today. So what's going on?
What's going on is I made the middle lantern of the three the wrong size. I made it the same width as the tall one, and it's supposed to be between the small one and the tall one. I am very obviously human, and I make mistakes nonstop. You can see that one doesn't fit. So we've taken the odd man out lantern in the middle, and we're going to replace it with the right size that fits with the group. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
So you see, guys, we all make mistakes, and if you make a mistake, just do it over again and keep trying. Failure is not an option.
Now we've got everything sanded and built. We're going to start finishing everything. We're going to stain it all with golden oak. That's our favorite color right now. It looks so good on everything. We're going to do golden oak on the guitar, and then we're going to do an accent color around the edges and around the edges of the face. On the noodle board, we went through and filled all the nail holes from the pallet wood. We also filled all the cracks and gaps that were around the edges of it. It looks like a really solid piece now. We're going to stain it golden oak also.
So we found a picture of a beautiful Paul Reed Smith mahogany guitar, and it was stained like this with the darker stain around the edge. So I had Aaron see if he could stain the clock guitar like that, and it turned out beautiful. we've been thinking about actually building a functioning real guitar out of pallet wood. What do you guys think? Leave a comment below and let us know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. So those are the projects we did today. The guitar, we got lucky and found some mahogany pallets, and we've been saving those. We still got quite a few, saving them for something special.
Yep.
I love the guitar. It turned out beautiful. Of course, you could do it in a variety of colors, stains,
shapes.
Yeah, we saw one online, an actual guitar that was mahogany and was stained like that. So Aaron did that really cool effect on it.
Yeah, it's very cool. That one, the guitar measures 19 tall by 13 wide at its widest point.
That's Rupert chewing his bone.
Again, it would sell. We would sell it for $150 just because of what it's made of and how it turned out. It's really, really cool.
Now it took a lot of. We did actually more sanding on it than we're used to doing on our project. I started off with 180 grit, then I went to 100, and then I went to 240 grit to just give it a really smooth finish.
Yeah, and it was top coated with gloss polyacrylic polyurethane. You can use whatever you want. That's what we had.
And we just sprayed it on just like we did the stain. And those cup guns that he sprayed that stain on and polyacrylic on with is from Harbor Freight. I think they're about $15 unless they've gone up since we bought them. Or you can get them
for $9 when they're on sale. They're cheap, super cheap. They're almost disposable, but they last a while if you take care of them.
And you just hook it up to your small compressor or big compressor, whatever size you have, and they're really easy to use. Just takes a little practice. Of course, Aaron's been, painting for
35 years.
Yeah, so, but just practice. We both started out not knowing how to do stuff, and we just did a little bit at a time, got better. It's that way with anything. Practice.
And that's what YouTube is for. So
you
can learn anything.
And we're so excited to be able to teach you guys this stuff.
Right. So the second one was the shelf that goes over the sink. It measures 30 inches wide by 11 inches tall, and it's only 3.5 inches deep from front to back.
Super easy to build.
Yeah, very easy.
Anybody could build it, and you don't even have to have a nail gun. You could use screws. You can make pocket holes.
Glue it together. Even.
Yeah.
We would go with $30 on that because it's easy. It's nothing to it, and it's easy.
Those are real popular too. I've had one in my bathroom that I made probably 10 years ago. I made it out of some pallet wood that was kind of aged and had some different, it wasn't just smooth. And I love that thing. I've used it so much.
Yeah, we've had it for years.
Yeah.
The next one is the noodle board, the stove cover.
Yep.
These you can get as fancy as you want if you have the capability of monogramming them or personalizing them. That's a big thing with these. This one measured 32 by 22 by 2 inches tall. 2 inches tall because we have a gas range, and those grates are really tall. So we would do 100 on it, and it's as rustic as it can be. You can really make them fancy.
Yeah, and you can use the stencil method on those with the Faber-Castell markers.
That's right.
We top coated it with polyacrylic because it is food safe. So like if I wanted to roll out some actual noodles on the noodle board, I could do that, or make bread. I make sourdough bread all the time.
And that gives you about 3 extra feet of counter space when you're using the thing. So some kitchens need that.
Now I wouldn't recommend having it on your stove when your oven's on because gets hot.
Grandkid tried to do that the other day.
Yeah, just be very mindful of it. You can also make them to where they cover the sink as well. You can switch them back and forth.
We may do one of those in the future.
Yeah.
And then the last one is the set of 3 lanterns. They measure, the biggest one is 11 tall by 5.5 by 5.5 square.
Yep.
The next one is 14 tall by 7 by 7. And then the tiny one is, I'm sorry, that was the small one. The middle one, I've got this all backwards.
Okay, the small one is 11 by 5.5 by 5.5.
Right.
The medium one is 14 by 7 by 7, and the large one is 18 by 9.5 by 9.5.
I'll put all these measurements on the pictures at the end so you can see what they are.
Yeah.
That group we would sell for 75 plus or minus whatever you think you can get out of them. It couldn't be easier to build. So,
yeah.
And there's nothing material wise in them.
And if you're selling on Etsy, all these prices are generally around the same. Yeah. Now, if you're selling locally, of course, price them to the prices you think you can get in your area, because that definitely varies. Like if we lived in New York or California, we'd probably get way more for this stuff than we live in Oklahoma, and these are prices that people in Oklahoma would pay. Right. And someone had left a comment on one of the videos and asked us to talk about shipping. Now, on our clocks, we include shipping in the price. We list it as free shipping, and so we price our items with that shipping cost already put in, and the cost of the box, the packing paper, the packing tape, all of that. So just make sure you count that if you're doing free shipping.
We ship with FedEx. We've been with them for years, and we have pretty good rates with them for ground service. There's lots of websites you can check out that can probably compete with them if you're a new customer. ShipStation is one.
Etsy also offers to buy your labels through them, which is cheaper than if you just went to the FedEx or UPS place and paid, or the post office.
Yeah. Post office has those if it fits in ships boxes. You make small stuff; those are going to beat UPS or FedEx all day.
Yeah, and so say they're like $10 to $20 depending on the size of the thing. So just include that in your price. Yep. People are very attracted to free shipping.
They are.
So that really works for us. Now, we didn't used to do that. And on coffee tables we still charge shipping price on those. And quick tip on those, always get them insured, because it seems like if you don't insure them, FedEx or UPS will
destroy that thing.
We've had so many of that happen too. So we insure coffee tables. Now the clocks, they're packed well enough. Yeah. Well, the coffee tables were packed well enough too, but they just seem to be, I guess, bulkier, and they tend to get damaged.
Yeah, the people don't handle them with care like you would imagine they do.
So if you're going to ship through FedEx, I highly recommend calling or online and setting up an account. They just have you put your credit card number, bank card number, whatever in, and they'll give you discounted rates. And boy, does it make a difference, because I can put in, say, a large clock, and it'll say retail price would have cost me $75. My price is like $30. So I always recommend, even with UPS, you can get accounts with them. It's real easy. It's not like anything you have to have credit for or anything like that. So
always keep that in mind when you're pricing your stuff. And shipping rates go up and down too. So you always got to constantly keep an eye on what you're charging for things.
Yeah, because fuel prices go up and down. And when fuel prices are up, shipping prices go up, boxes go up, everything.
Yep.
So just be mindful of all that. Just get you a notebook, write all this stuff down, and just keep an eye on it, because you always want to be making the most money you can. And like I said before, starting out a business with scraps or pallet wood, just take a little bit of time to break that stuff down, but that saves you so much money. So when you start your business, it's mostly profit. Of course, you have your supplies and your labor, your time and shipping costs, but that's a real good way to get a business started without any money up front. Yeah. Because when we started our business, we didn't have any money up front. We didn't take out a loan or anything. It was just...
Yeah, we started with a saw and a miter saw, a table saw,
router.
Yeah. And, was bare bones.
And sand, palm sanders. And so it can be done. I know, it has been done. So
just depends on how much you want it.
Yeah, and if you get frustrated or feel like you can't do something, like I said, if you're using pallet wood or scraps, um, it's not costing you anything. So just keep trying. Just, you know, put your all into it. I know you guys can get it done. And you can also find people giving away free scrap wood on Facebook Marketplace. I look at Facebook Marketplace every day just in case there's something on there that I might want or a good deal. And I see free wood all the time. So keep that in mind too.
And we're thinking about doing how we started video soon, because people have questions and we don't have all the answers, but we know how we did it and we could probably help you guys. So
yeah,
be looking for that in the future.
Sorry, I keep clearing my throat, you guys. I have allergies. That's really bad in Oklahoma always. So, but that's it today. We've included the photos of the items as we were talking about them, but we'll show you all of them again here in closing. And I really appreciate you guys sticking with us and watching our videos every week. And we love the comments. They just really brighten our day. Yes.
So we appreciate you watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to it. It really helps us out. Spread the word.
Yep. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.